Um,
I
I
hate interrupting it.
yeah, what's up?
Video is really bad.
What happened?
The video is really laggy and, looks
Yeah,
like it's 1994.
I saw that when I first popped on, and I don't know what the fuck it is. So I was sleepy, and then I was also sleepy the whole weekend because there was so much work. I said this last week on this very program. I went and got myself a job. And I've talked so much about how I just am. I'm in coast mode for most of the time here in this portion of life, and and doing this show and playing some video games and going out into Greenville and having some brunch, playing with the cat, watching TV. Like that's I'm like, yeah, I like this course I'm on. And then I went and got myself a job with like a bosses and responsibilities and coworkers and things that I have to do at certain times. And I'm like, I just can't stay out of it. They pull me back in. And not that I'm griping at all. I like griping. I'm not griping at all. I enjoy it. I really enjoy the medium of broadcasting. I think, anyone that's known me over the course of the years knows this. I don't have to sell anybody on the idea that I like doing this. Um, I've said many times I've made, thank God, a lot of money, and I've saved a lot of money, invested a lot of money. That gives me the opportunity to, if I wanted to, do fucking absolutely nothing. Uh, but I like doing this. Always have. I think I always will. Um, it's not an ego thing. Some people would have you believe it's an ego thing. I don't. I don't get the recognition from this as I did with the Opie and Anthony show. I'd go out, and if I'm at the mall or eating dinner or something, somebody would usually come up and be like, "Hey, Anthony, love the show." In the O&A days, now it's very few and far between, and I don't really care. It's nice, a little recognition for something you're passionate about, but nothing. It's not a vanity project, or I'm not doing this for the money. It's good. I do like having, not having to pick into your investments or savings to make mortgage and car payments and things like that. If that can be done through doing what I do, broadcasting, all the better. But it's not like, oh shit, I got to get a job. I need money. Thank God. Again, I count my blessings. I get approached by WABC in New York to do a show, a show, and of course I accepted, of course, because I like doing this and I like branching out. I like exploring new things, even if those new things are formerly old things like broadcast radio. And I didn't even have to think about it that long. I was just like, yeah, let's do this. It'll be fun, a little more excitement, a bigger audience, a different audience, and something else to do. I've portrayed myself over the course of the years as a very, very lazy person. And I am, in certain aspects of my life, extremely lazy. But I'm not lazy when it comes to things I'm excited about and I really want to do. And that's what broadcasting is. So I didn't even have to think about it that long. I just said, "Oh my God, someone's talking outside." I don't even care what the time slot is. I don't care what the pay is. I just want to do broadcast radio again. It's something I think I remember kind of being good at. It was I'd only really done it with the Opie and Anthony show, so I'm very curious to see how I can do. It's a challenge, There's an unknown there. Will I be able to do a show on broadcast radio by myself? And after doing this for, on Compound Media for many years with a co-host, interim co-hosts every so often, Some of them very funny and uh, creative, like Dave Landau. Others, just because I had them as co-hosts, added fun, like Artie, who was just oh a monkey wrench thrown into the cogs. Um, and I just want, I think I can do this, and I wanted to see what broadcast, because it is different. This is different than broadcast radio. So I wanted to see, and I was excited at the prospect. And I think it's a stepping stone, a foot in the door. And people go, really? At your age, why would you? Radio is one of the industries where you can do this. I'm not a basketball player. I'm not, a sports star or someone that needs insane youth and physical strength to do things. Radio, again, thank God, is one of these businesses that you can just keep doing well into your later years. So, yeah, again, why wouldn't I do this? Um, I, I am not a person of vanity. I don't do things to really put myself over, make myself look like, hey, look what I'm doing. I do things for me. I like doing things. Obviously, when you do things for you in radio, it does get out and affect other people, and hopefully they enjoy it. I mean, obviously, that's a big part of it. But I think if you're just doing something to turn a quick dime, or because you feel you have to do it to keep up some kind of facade is a false front. This was actually the back of Beaver Cleaver's house. Universal Studio Tour. Every time I hear or use the word facade, that's all I think about. That they have to keep up appearances. Like, I did radio, I was successful. Now I have to do something because people will think I'm not doing it. That never came into play as far as I'm concerned either. So the radio thing was a no-brainer for me. Yes. I say yes. And they say Sunday, they have their weekday schedule all lined up. Of course, I mean, it's no secret that I would love to do some type of weekday show there during the day. I would like to do that. And I do believe that in time I will get that. So it's something else to work towards. And you have to have something called like self-realization. You have to be cognizant of where you are in life, in position with your family maybe, or your employment, and where you are in contrast to where you were is an important thing to keep in mind. A lot of people are so completely fixated on what they once were that they judge everything they're doing off of that. They have to weigh it with this unbelievable weight of what was. And it will never be that, or it rarely is that. But you could try, you could work at it. Some people just are relinquished to the fact that if they can't have what was and what they had achieved years ago, that they shouldn't even bother trying. Oh, you're not going to reach the level of Opie and Anthony, so why even bother with radio? What kind of fucking mindset is that? That could be one of the unhealthiest mindsets as far as, you see a lot of these guys that retire in their late 60s, early 70s, and they literally have nothing to do. They've completely retired. They get the gold watch, the little party with their coworkers, and then in months, they're dead. They're dead in months. There is a physical need for purpose, to feel useful and feel like you're doing something that you're excited to do. And if you're someone like, and Stuttering John is a great example of that. Holy shit. The guy is so anchored to 20, 30 years ago that he just can't get past it to even try to do something new. Anytime you see him on a show, it's hilarious because all he does is talk about the old days. It was on Howard Stern, biggest radio show. Jay Leno. It's like, yeah, but what are you doing now? Opie is another example. Jesus Christ. At least in Opie's favor, he's got money. I don't think John has much money. Opie's got money. He could retire and do nothing. But again, when I talk about a vanity project or things that people do just because they want to show that they're still doing something, but you don't want to really hit the gas pedal on it. You don't want to put yourself into it, give it your all. So it comes off as half-assed, shoddy, lazy. And it's not a thing that anyone could really define. There aren't a lot of people excited about it. And I think you just do it because it's expected of you. You want to save face by saying, I do something in broadcasting. I saw a couple of these people that have these attitudes last night after I did my ABC show. I keep wanting to say NEW. My ABC show debuted last night, 8 p.m. on WABC Radio New York, and I had a great time doing it. It was exciting. It was fun. It was nerve-wracking, that first. And it's weird because I do this every day, and I'm so loose and used to doing this. I don't walk into the studio to do the Anthony Cumia show on censored.tv and go like, oh, I'm feeling adrenaline. I got to turn the mic on. Here I go. Like, I don't get like that with this show. I did last night with the ABC show, and I'm thinking to myself, like, why? I do this every day. It's still just talking into a microphone. There are certain things that I know I can't do or say, certain curse words, anything that isn't FCC compliant, and they don't want to lose the license, as they say in broadcast radio. And I understand those rules. That wouldn't get me nervous. I know I can do shows without cursing. I've done it before. I did it last night. I know I could do shows without cursing. I have a large enough vocabulary where I can refrain from saying shit and fuck and things like that. So it wasn't that, but there's just something about knowing that your voice is going out over a different medium and a broadcast medium. And unlike subscription-based broadcasting, there are people out there that, first of all, some of them don't even know who the fuck you are. Don't care. They're listening to their radio in the car. A shitty song came on. They switched the station, and now they're hearing my voice, and they go, what is this? Who's this asshole? It's just a wider audience of people that might not like what you're saying. Who knows? And I don't think that per se got the nerves up. It was just, I don't know. I couldn't explain it, but I had some nerves until right when the mic goes on and I start talking, it goes away. It's like doing shows with a band. Before you hit the stage, you're fucking like, oh God, I got to remember all the lyrics. I hope don't fuck up. I hope my voice works. And then you get out there and it's all just showtime. So, I was a little nerve-wracked last night. It's so weird. But it was just great. The staff up there in New York City at WABC Radio is impeccable. They got me hooked up. We went through all the sound checks and tests, and they were all so psyched to have me on. And just a great team up there. Old school radio team. Not these corporate slobs in their suits and ties going around bean counting. They appreciate someone that appreciates doing the gig. So that was a lot of fun. And then, I watched a little Opie's show at some ungodly hour. It was literally, and I know it's daylight savings, but it was literally like pitch black nighttime behind him out the window. Like, who gets up at that hour? Who gets up at that hour? If you don't have to. A lot of people have to get up early. I get that. What the fuck is he getting up before the sun comes up? I guess he enjoys it. And then he sits down and does this thing, this podcast for 20, 30 people. Um, and he proceeds to start talking, the comments he gets get him revved up. And we all know it. And the trolls know it, so they get on and they start posting these things like, "Hey, did you listen to Anthony on ABC last night?" No, I didn't listen. Why? Why would I listen to that? I'm like, oh boy. I listen. I watch. I see what these guys are up to. Why wouldn't I? It's such a phony thing to just go, yeah, I don't listen. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't have the time. You don't have the time. You're up at fucking 3 a.m. in front of a camera. You're up all fucking day. What else are you doing? So I watch. I wouldn't lie about that. There are other shows in the Dabbleverse and whatnot. But I know last night was a thing. It involves me, and I'm involved in certain areas of broadcasting and entertainment that other people want to pop on and either talk about it, compliment it, critique it, shit on it, whatever it is. I get it. And Opie's like, I don't watch that. I don't know. And then he just goes about, shitting on the deal. Like, oh, his big debut at Sunday night at 8 o'clock on AM radio. Yeah. Yeah, Sunday night, 8 o'clock on AM radio, WABC, New York. You know why? I have a great perception of self. I know where I am in life and in this industry. I know where I am. I know that I was exiled persona non grata in the broadcast radio circles, as is Opie. He is. He has the O&A stench on him. He was fired for gross misconduct over at Sirius XM for taking pictures over the top of a shit stall in a bathroom of Roland. It's, it's kind of weird because I think it's called sexual harassment. I think that is actually in the workplace during those films you have to watch. I think if they used that as an example in one of those, sexual harassment films that they show you in the workplace, I think that would go under sexual harassment. Here's something that should never be done, even if you're friends who are used to joking around about these things. Was it right for Opie to have recorded Roland in the privacy of a toilet stall? Let's go back and watch. Like they would have just put this as sexual harassment. He's nude. I know, slow down, picturing a half nude Roland. So I think it was like a sexual harassment thing. I don't think they wrote it down as the reason for firing, but it's gross misconduct. So then you're out of the business. You're out of the business. And he's been doing this, whatever it is, since. And he looks at something like the job I took at ABC as a downgrade, as something like, why would you do it? Goofing on the fact that it's a Sunday night gig on AM radio. I know my position here, but I also know that I have the ability to make something of it. I don't care how small the opportunity is. I'm going to do my best at it and make something of it. And during the past couple of weeks, I've worked very hard with the people at WABC. I've worked hard on my own, getting material together and working with the production team to get kind of an image for the show and just everything that goes along with really being involved in wanting to make what you do the best you can possibly make it. And to say it's a small stupid thing, it's a genuine opportunity to get back into broadcast radio. And I got to say, the support was unprecedented last night. I cannot tell you how many people texted me and called me, congratulating me for the show. How many social media responses I got on X and Instagram and whatnot, from people that just went, wow, great job. Thank you so much. This feels like there's a new energy. Just all the compliments were great. Really, really nice having that support. And again, like I said, there's no small opportunities. There are opportunities. And Opie has just completely removed himself from the want, need, or ambition to do something like that, because anything he would see as it not being O&A. He said it on some of his shows. What, you think you're going to build it up to the point of Opie and Anthony? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. If I've been taught anything in the past decade or so, it's that you really have no clue what the fuck is going on next. What's going to happen? What opportunities will come your way? Who you'll meet that'll steer your career or life in a different direction. This is, the amazing part of life. This is why, I feel very sad for people that put that gun in their mouth. Because again, if things seem really bad right now, you could just take some solace in the fact that things change and better times come, maybe worse times. I don't know. It's not a guaranteed good, but things just change. And if you work at something and you're passionate about it and you have confidence in yourself and what you do, there's no small opportunities. I think this opportunity at WABC is going to take me in a direction on broadcast radio that I never would have gotten if I didn't take this opportunity. You could sit and daydream about shit or whatever, but unless you see these opportunities that come by and grab at them. I could have not returned the phone call. I could have said, I don't know. I'm kind of happy in what I'm doing now. And then you sit there and go, oh, why am I not doing radio? That's what Greg's doing. That's what he does. He sits there. Every single thing he's done since he was fired from SiriusXM has been an audition for radio, or, in his mind, maybe even some TV thing. But everything. It's why he doesn't curse. It's why he's completely non-confrontational and uncontroversial about everything going on in the world. It's harder in 2025 to be to not be controversial if you have any type of show. There's so much going on that you have to take a personal stand at least. Something has to be like, yeah, I think I agree with that more than I do this. But I mean, it's just devoid of any controversy, of any real opinion. And I think he's doing that, believing that some radio guy is going to hear him or see his thing, his show, and go, yeah, that's the guy we need for mornings. He doesn't stir a lot of things up. He works clean. He says, holy S, and that's effed up. So he works clean. We could get him in and you know who's calling? Nobody. No one cares. It's the most diluted, nonsensical nothingness that anyone could waste bandwidth on. And I'm not getting on him personally. I'm not calling him an asshole. He'll call me an asshole and I'm heartless and I'm fucking, I have no soul and I'm evil. And I don't even say that about him. All I say is I see in a professional way, because I know we're not friends, so I'm not going to talk about him like, out of friendship and point out some faults that as a friend I'm a little concerned about. I'm purely professional with the Opster when I talk about him. When he busts my balls, I'll bust balls back, but that's guys. But he just doesn't seem to get it. I'm not looking for a new Opie and Anthony phase in my life. I'm looking to do something exciting and fun that I enjoy doing and doing it to the best of my ability. And if that gets me some recognition and we can go further with that, I am totally cool with that. I'm excited and I know some fans and supporters of me would be happy to see that too. So if you see any clips of him talking about me, it's just hilarious because he puts the importance on the size of the gig and the opportunity and the money. That was another thing. He's making, I think he blurted something out the other day. One show a week, 2 hours a week. And he starts doing that fake laugh. He's not even making $500 an episode. Now, I have said money was the last consideration in this gig. I even told them that. I even told Matt, I said, this is probably a terrible, terrible business, business thing to say. I didn't have an agent there or a lawyer. I'm just making a deal for something I want to do. And I go, oddly enough, money isn't even a major consideration here. I have money. I make money still. And I just want to do this. I want to prove to myself and use this as an opportunity, a stepping stone. So, and I can't get into details, contract details. I can't, but I'm going to say a few things that I hope you can maybe figure out. Because this is, Opie, just the trolls get him. The trolls said I was making $300,000, and it just drove Opie crazy. And he had to keep saying that he's making, at the most, he's not even making $500 a show. Truth be told, when I was in the meeting up in New York, I was given a number, and it's one show. So the number I was given, I assumed, I swear to you, I'm not going to say what the number was, but I assumed it was a per show number. It just sounded like that. Sounded like, this is what we can pay you. And then he said a number, and I thought that number was per show. I get my contract, and I read through it very meticulously, and I see the part of the contract that says compensation. And I see that the number he gave me that I thought was a per episode number was the yearly salary. My eyes bugged out of my fucking head. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't care about getting paid, a large sum of money. But at that moment, I was like, I just got a substantial raise from what I thought I was making. Like Opie said, I thought I'd get a pay rate of whatever per show. I don't know how they worked things over there. And the way he put it sounded like it was, an amount with a little decimal point, and that's how much I made per show. Don't care. Put direct deposit, and I won't even think about it. But then I see the contract. I'm like, oh my God, he was talking about a yearly salary when he mentioned that amount. So Opie doesn't know. He doesn't know what it is. He says 500 an episode. He's way off. Because again, I know what I do, and other people know what I do. I've been proving myself in the conservative talk circles for quite a few years. Not quite 11. I don't think at the beginning when I first started doing Compound Media when I was fired from SiriusXM, I don't think I went right into it. I think a lot of it was still cock-a-doodle conversation and, stuff like that. But when I realized that I couldn't hold a host anymore, not by my own faults, I really started delving into more just I'll sit here and I'll talk. I'll talk. I'll talk about what's going on in the world. I'll make some jokes. I'll, whatever it is. And that seemed to work. And some people in certain conservative talk circles noticed. I wasn't looking. I wasn't putting this out as a resume every day. And, I'll say it again. If you're passionate about what you do, if you have some confidence in what you do, and if you're willing to take some chances and you have a good idea of where you are and you have a reality of where you are, you're not delusional, opportunities will present themselves. And I definitely think you should look at them and take them. Is it bad to have an unplugged Ethernet cable? Hold on.
Yeah, you could plug that in. That might help.
No, it's plugged in. I'll try to stay still so nothing moves. I'll talk like a ventriloquist. Hey, everybody. I'm not very good at it. You want me to go to Zoom?
Just keep going for now.
All right. It has been decided. Just keep going for now. I'll keep going. It's like radio. Just turn the picture off. And you can listen to me.